So one of the big things I've been doing this last year, in addition to writing my books, is what I call a use it up year. And I think I want to do the challenge again. Hi, my name is Dawn Dalton. I am a freelance writer, an aspiring author, and I'm working towards self-publishing my debut novel, Game On, and I'm bringing you along for the ride. There's been a lot of talk lately about the overconsumption in the planner community, and I know that my next year of planners, I'm using one, and I'm using up a lot of stuff that I already own. Now, that doesn't include the stuff that I got for Christmas, but I do want to decrease what I have because the piles of stuff is finally starting to get to me. And so last year I decided, after watching a lot of the people that I follow on YouTube doing no-buy challenges, I thought I would do something similar. But instead of calling it a no-buy or a low buy, I decided that I wanted to call it a use it up year. A year where I try not to buy, but I will replace, and if I see something that I have a plan for, I will buy it. But for the most part, I wanted to go through and use up what I already owned. And a lot of this came about because I have some drawers sitting next to my desk that I put my washi tape in. And I could have almost filled at least one or two more than the three that are over there. And that's excessive because I wasn't using that much washi tape. In addition to that, I had more Pilot G2 pens than would fit in my little organizer, my pen cup, the box that I keep my Pilot pens in. I actually had to put them in a drawer across the room. I use a lot of pens, don't get me wrong. I rip through pens like they're nothing. But I don't use that many pens in a year, as evidenced by the fact that I still have pens left over at the end of this year. I also have a ridiculous amount of stickers and notebooks because I used to work in a warehouse that got a truckload of pallets of notebooks that were like Target returns, and we bought them super duper cheap. And as a writer, I go through a lot of notebooks. But again, I have way more than I could ever use in a year. I generally don't go through 12 or more notebooks in a year, and I still have a huge stack of them sitting in the office, in addition to what's next to me that I'm currently using. So I want to do this again. I also had a stupid number of lotions and chapsticks sitting in the drawer of my desk, and I don't anymore. I have 2 bottles of lotion and 1 travel size. And I think I have 1 spare chapstick, and that's it. So as a whole, my use it up year for 2023 was fairly successful. I only bought a new commonplace notebook when I was almost out of my previous one, until I forgot that I had done that, which I seem to do a lot. And so now I have a spare already for next year. I've got like a third left of the one I'm currently using. So I am ready for 2024 with having another commonplace notebook. And then I found one while I was cleaning today. The kind that I use, I buy at Five Below, and I love them because they have the thicker covers, so I don't need to set them on anything. but they don't always have them. So I always run into that moment of, do I grab two while they have them? And that's sort of the problem I was running into, is I was constantly buying stuff that I didn't need. And I don't want to do that because that's wasteful. I mean, at some point, yes, I will use all the notebooks and everything that I own, but I won't if I keep buying more and more. So this is me committing to doing this challenge again, and not just committing to the challenge itself, but I'm going to show you how absolutely ridiculous this is, because it is. So let me show you my washi tape, my pens, my notebooks that are scattered everywhere, my stickers, my paper, all of the stuff that I plan on working my way through this year. And hopefully together we can use it up and not replace it unless it absolutely needs to be replaced. So let's start with what's already on my desk. I have my planner stack with my commonplace notebook. Obviously, at the end of this year, those notebooks or those happy planners will be going away and will be replaced with my bullet journal planner. I then have my pen cup that holds a few G2 pens, one of the last sparkly pens I have, a couple of calligraphy pens that I probably need to go through and clean out because they're dried out and need to be revived. I then also have my drawer of most of the stuff that I use. I have a lot of mild liners in here, some stickers and stencils, bunch of post-it notes, and Pigma microns in here that I use for drawing out my bullet journal, as well as one Crayola super tip. That is what is being used currently in my bullet journal. And then I have this beautiful blue box. This holds what's left of my G2s that aren't in my pen cup or in the organizer next to my desk. These are the colors that haven't really been touched this year and will need to be used in the new year. Now, next to my desk, I have my washi tapes. You can see I have 3 fairly full drawers. This is what's left at the end of the year after I have spent most of my year trying to clear it out. I did buy 4 washi tapes before the year ended, but everything now fits. This is my current setup for my G2s for the stuff that I'm currently using, the colors that I'm currently using. I have pink and teal as my pastel colors, purple, which is the color I use most often, and I will probably have to replace that soon because being down to 6 is a little hairy because that is the color I use the most, black. And then I have a couple Zebra Sarasas and my last sparkly Pilot G2. Underneath them, you can see I have the commonplace notebook that I had bought to replace the one I have. One that I found while cleaning. This is what used to be my naming notebook. This is one of my new writing things. This notebook holds a bunch of traveler's notebooks that I'm just filtering out and replacing in my traveling writing notebook, next year's planner. The notebooks that I'm prepped for this next year of stuff that I'm working on, the 2 Five Below notebooks that are slowly losing their dot grid paper and are being replaced with a few other things, notebooks that have, or folders that have extra paper in them, or things like the HB90 method that I haven't finished punching and putting into other things. And then this box has more of my papers and stuff, and I will show you that in just a minute. And then I have a few blank notebooks sitting here that are partially, like, have most of their pages ripped out. Those are going to be the next ones that I utilize when those get filled. And then the stuff on the bottom shelf is notebooks that already have a purpose set up for them, a book set up for them, because I have to have everything sorted out. But I did actually label them as to what they're supposed to be for and put any notes that I have into those. So this box holds all of my extra papers that I had for my Happy Planner Mini, as well as more of those traveler's notebooks and a couple of other notebooks that I will use when I start to run out of everything else. Now across the room I have this 3-drawer plastic thing. The top drawer has just pens and markers in it, as well as ink for my calligraphy pens, markers, scissors, all sorts of fun stuff that I generally don't use, and I'm not even sure if most of the markers work anymore. I am going to have to actually do pen tests on them. Next to my drawer unit is actually where most of my stickers live. I also have 3 boxes of scrapbook paper and a bunch of papers that don't actually fit inside those boxes, because this is not insanity at all. But wait, there's more. That's my spiral notebook stash. When I say that I bought a ridiculous amount, I mean that I bought a ridiculous amount. But behind that, it's only about half as tall, is my composition notebook stash that I mostly don't use. Then if you go into the cabinet next to it, you'll have my colored pencil case, some more Happy Planner stuff, more composition notebooks, legal notebooks, some more spiral bounds, my sketchbook, more folders, another spiral bound, more scrapbooking stuff that I'm not even sure if all of it is even viable anymore. On top of that, you see I have my random notebook stash and stuff I found today while I was cleaning. This punch is a little disappointing because it's actually for the smaller size and not the size that I'm going to be using this year. Oh, and you thought we were done. There are all my cards, a bunch more post-it notes, some more of those small notebooks, the traveler notebooks, tons of small notebooks everywhere. And that is not even it, because I have another drawer that has a few scrapbooking papers and stuff for some scrapbooks that I am currently working on, as well as just a bunch of random crafting stuff. You thought I was done, but I'm not. So I have all of my Post-it notes in the top drawer, as well as bulldog clips and paper clips and even more Post-it notes. Lots of my fidgets and what have you, and more Post-it notes. And more fidgets and things. And more notebooks and pads of paper and computer things and pins that I never wear. And more notebooks. It's a little disgusting, I'm not gonna lie. When you see it all in one go, it is ridiculous. I don't know about you, but just looking at all that stuff makes me a little sick to my stomach. And I don't want to be wasteful. The composition notebooks, I have to find someplace to donate them to because I don't use them. I'm going to say that they're a legacy item. I used to write nothing but composition notebooks, and now I don't. Now I write nothing but spiral bounds, occasionally using A5. I'm not even a big fan of bound A5 books, except for things like being my bullet journal or holding legacy items. So yeah, if you are enjoying following me on my journey, not just to getting my book published, but also coming up with new systems, new plans, be sure to feed the algorithm, boop that like button, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.